Are you looking for me?
Looking for me.
Look out!
That's a high flora.
Is there a problem?
It's fine. This is just a little misunderstanding.
What are you doing? Arrest that man!
Please, calm yourself. Not all high flora are monsters.
You don't expect me to trust you so easily, do you? So you decide to show your true...
Your wings, they're torn.
No matter what I do, they always grow back. I may have been born a high flora, but I hate them just as much as any nova. I failed to get rid of my wings, but I think my scars drive home my point.
I can't say I'm ready to trust you, but I may have overreacted.
I'm used to it. I'm surprised the prince didn't warn you about me. His idea of a joke, perhaps.
Yes. Just don't let appearances fool you. He's an incredibly useful individual.
So that's what he meant. Are you going to stand against him too? Ancient ghosts.
I assume you're here about the Chosen One? What's your interest in our prophecies?
We're trying to find out more about the gods of this place. He seems like he's Andy in a fight.
You would form an alliance with the divine? I've never heard anyone say such a thing about a god. You must be the adversary I've heard so much about.
Gucci has charge.
They say that you plan to fight Jaren Darmor, even if it means plunging all of Grandis into war. I see that your mind is made up. I shouldn't be surprised. You've already vanquished one transcendent after all. In that case, let us begin. You'll want to start with the ancient writings on the sword.
You do have those writings, don't you?
Of course. Unfortunately, they're in Section 3, and Section 3 is a little haunted at the moment.
Part of the library is haunted? And you didn't do anything about it?
Oh, I tried. Unfortunately, the ghosts didn't care for that. They possessed me. I had spirits leaking out of my nose for ages afterwards. Nobody wanted to come and borrow any books.
Yes, that sounds difficult.
Guy, I'm thinking.
Prophecies all hit the same major points, but the details are impossible to pin down. At least they all agree on one thing. The sword has always been wielded by a celestial.
What are celestials anyways?
The Celestials are demigods who joined the sun god Mitra when he descended from the heavens. But they lost their power when the age of the gods ended, and they've been trapped here ever since. So they settled in a place they called High Mountain and founded the Order.
I hear that High Mountain fell some time ago. What happened to the Celestials after that?
They spread out and went into hiding. Aside from Seren, they're rarely seen these days.
This is a lot to process. The Holy Sword did react to the adversary. Maybe we should start there after all.
It was extremely hostile.
To be fair, you do have a history of killing godlike creatures.
I'm not sure that's it. I understand that the adversary carries the power of the Seal Stone, no? The Seal Stone's power is the same power that sealed the gods away in the first place.
What?
The Seal Stone was meant for the ancient gods? So the adversary possessed the same power that sealed away Mithra. This got out, the partnership between the Alliance and Cernium would be over. Ern, could you keep this revelation to yourself for now? Of course. A wound tells a soul. And we must be particularly cautious around Siren. If she catches even a whisper of this, we'll face far worse than exile. Do you think she will go that far?
Aaron, are you here?
Speaking of Celestials. Uh-oh.
I'm here about my earlier request.
I owe you an apology for earlier. Oh, it's nothing. Nothing at all. We'll just excuse ourselves. No, you two should hear this as well. Oh? The prince claims that you're going to find the chosen one. He asked for our help. Yes. Are outsiders allowed to interfere? The Order has searched for the chosen one to wield the holy sword Azure for too long without success. If it means to find them, we're grateful for any help. Clearly, we need to freshen fresh perspectives. We need a fresh perspective. If you're willing, then we will help. Do you have any useful information? Actually, yes. I recently learned that High Mountain continued handpicking the chosen one long after the sword lost its light in the ancient war. I came here for any information about it. You should go to the library and deal with those ghosts. Carefully select every recipient of the Holy Sword. Each was a paragon of the holy knights devoted to the faith. When the gods return, they will recover the sword's light. The Order gives this emblem to the chosen one. This one isn't as ordained. That emblem is for the Temple of Mithra. I have the same one.
They're similar, but not identical.
There must be other survivors from High Mountain. I'm certain one of them has the emblem. You must agree.
It's going to be difficult to find a specific person in this chaos, especially if they don't want to be found.
You are right, of course. But I must believe that the Chosen One will not stray far from the sword.
How optimistic of you.
That's faith.
And what you call faith, I call wishful thinking.
Uh-oh.
You are the prince's guest, but this is the Holy Land. Mind your tongue.
Okay, why don't we move on?
One more thing. I had a thought about you.
Go ahead.
You're celestial. You're dedicated to the faith, and nobody is closer to the sword than you are.
I see where you're going, but that's a dead end. I don't have the emblem.
All that should really matter is whether or not you have Mitra's blessing.
You don't understand. I'm not worthy. I can't even spread my wings.
And?
All those years ago, when I brought the sword to Cernium, I was injured. You have wings yourself. How would you feel if you couldn't? It's late. I should be going.
A celestial who can't spread her wings.
Curious better. Alright, don't you head back. I'm going to do some more research. Should I head to the square for now? Yes. What a powerfully suspicious looking person. It's like he's asking to be followed. I guess I'll see where he's heading. God. Where did he go? He definitely came this way. Ah!
What are you doing here?
I was following someone suspicious.
I know the person you're referring to.
You do? Who is it?
I've never actually met them. I just know I'm not the only one who comes here.
Who's this memorial for?
My fellow soldiers. They were slain in battle defending the Holy Sword.
That explains all the old swords. There are a lot of them.
I was the only survivor to reach the Holy Land.
Oh. There stands for a moment in silence before counting the tale. This is a key story from Saren's past. If you decline, you skip the most important dialogue.